Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Jay the One-Eye Gamer video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the new information that dropped for Gundam Rogue Orbit. Now, if you guys know what that game is, I did make a video around the Summer Games Fest season where I talked about games that got me really interested, and it did show up there. So if you want to look at that, I'll put a video in the description so you can look at that. Basically what this update is, it's not actually any gameplay, but it is lore related. And the reason for that is because this game is actually going to be tied to the new anime series that's coming out next year for the Gundam franchise. And if you're as big of a Gundam fan as I am, you should be excited because courtesy of the San Diego Comic-Con, which I believe happened about a week or two ago as of this recording, we were actually shown the next animated series of Gundam, that being Mobile Suit Gundam RG-X-ARX-0. It looks awesome, in my personal opinion. Like, I'm not going to break down the trailer, that's not what we're here to do, and I don't know if I can use the trailer itself without getting copyright struck, so maybe if I'm lucky, I'm going to put some screenshots in, so hopefully they won't get me for that. But with all that stuff out of the way, I can say this, that I am 100% hyped for the show, and if I was an anime YouTuber, I would probably try to break down the trailer because there's so much cool and interesting things going on in it, but that's not what we're here to do. But just know that I really do like the mech designs, and I do like the concept of it's not a human to human conflict. As of right now, it's more of a human to alien conflict, and I'm just curious to see how that's going to play out. It is taking place in an alternate universe, that being set in the AA timeline, which is after Apocalypse. Now what's important about that little feature is because Gundam Rogue Orbit apparently is also taking place in the exact same timeline because they're part of what's being called Project RG, and basically what that is, it's a multimedia strategy where they're going to have the anime and the video game pretty much share a same universe, and they're going to connect to each other some way, shape, or form. For the game, the only thing we know lore-wise is that it seems to be taking place 90 years after the events of the anime, so that's very interesting. So however the anime concludes, I wonder how much of a direct impact that's going to have on the game. Now obviously that's almost a century between the start of this timeline and where Rogue Orbit begins, so a lot of things can happen obviously within that time, and characters who are around possibly in the anime might not be around by Rogue Orbit, and if they are probably going to be very old. It is interesting to see how the anime will affect the game or vice versa, and both are actually coming out next year. Now we don't know when they are actually coming out next year, so we don't know if the anime is going to go first and then the game comes out after, so it can follow more chronological storytelling they want to do, or if they're going to come out a lot closer together. Now I don't think that's going to happen. My personal opinion is I think the anime is going to come out first and then the game is going to come out probably like maybe a couple months after it's done airing, so that way we understand what the story is for this new timeline and how it's going to affect Rogue Orbit. That's my personal opinion. They could completely do it differently. They could do Rogue Orbit first and then have it set up for like little Easter eggs that's like, oh, what's this? Oh, and they're talking about this, and then, you know, we actually get to see the anime and then we get some of those questions answered, like, oh, that's why that is, you know, when they talked about it in the game, this is why it happened, or this is how it happened. You know, they can do any kind of strategy they want with it, but I'm just really hyped that we're getting something like this where both the anime and the game are complementing each other, or the fact that they are sharing their own timeline now. What's very interesting about that, and which I hope they actually work on, is since there is such a good gap of time between the anime's ending and the beginning of Rogue Orbit, like I said, about a 90-year gap between, in that space, if they want to do more like manga, another anime, an OVA, or even more games, there is enough time frame in there that they won't hopefully kind of retcon or really affect them two main posts of that timeline, because I know Gundam sometimes also likes to retcon some things or make mechs that are infinitely stronger than things that come after them. But I don't want to run down this rabbit hole because, like I said, with my love of Gundam, I could do this for an hour, and I doubt you guys would be very interested in that. But just know that there is good potential here for storytelling and building this world, and I just kind of hope they don't fumble the ball with this. I don't think they are, because Gundam is such a beloved franchise, but I know there is the possibility for that. But I want to believe in the hope that this is going to do really good. If they do this, I don't want them to treat it like IBO. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a little rant. I love IBO, but I want to hear more about the Calamity War, because in IBO, if you don't know that, Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, basically they tell you that at the beginning of Iron-Blooded Orphans, there's about a 300-year gap between the end of something called the Calamity War and the beginning of IBO. And if you know anything about Gundam IBO lore, the Calamity War sounds like it's just fucking crazy in a good way. Like, you get to see the Gundams how they originally looked before they were kind of like degraded over time, and some of the Mobile Suit Gundams you see in that are ridiculous. Like, I forget the one Gundam, but it literally was the one from the cell phone game, and its original form, it has 6 arms that come out, it's got a cool looking cape, and literally one of the most badass scenes you get to see is it's fighting a mobile armor, like a AI controlled mobile armor, which were basically roaming death machines, and you get to watch it literally get destroyed from its point of view, so you get to see the Gundam as this terrifying monster monsters show up and literally destroy this thing, and it's just so cool. And little tangent over on that, but what I'm trying to say is I want them to build in that universe, because like I would like them to do in the IBO. I think there's potential for that, because some of the alternate universes, they don't really have room for expansion, or they don't leave a lot of lore there that isn't already covered in its initial run, and it makes going back a little harder. But I feel like when you give a good gap like that, you have so much room to play with, and so many stories can be put in there. And then, like I said, in the case of IBO, the Calamity War, you could literally do a series on the Calamity War. It could be an anime, it could be a manga, it could be an OVA, it could be whatever, because there's so much interesting stuff they laid out there that we don't really get to see. And again, I'm sorry, I'm harping on that, but I just see the potential, and I want it to hit its maximum potential. And this video has gone on long enough. I apologize for that, guys, that you had to listen to like a Gundam fan rant about some things that he likes. We're gonna start winding the video down, but before I sign off, guys, do let me know, how do you feel about Gundam Rogue Orbit? Did you see the reveal trailer? Are you hyped for it? Are you skeptical? Have you ever also heard of Gundam? If you haven't heard of Gundam, are you interested in checking it out? And does this new Gundam, if you've seen the trailer and everything, and the fact that it's tied to the game, has that got you interested to check out the anime? Because guys, the anime quality of Gundam is usually really good, so I would highly recommend giving it a watch. Again, sorry, Gundam shill here, but regardless, I want to thank you all for watching the video. If you made it this far and unfortunately listened to me ramble about Gundam, sorry about that again, but I'm just a huge Gundam fan. I really love it, and I'm rambling again. I'm sorry, but anyway, thank you all for making it to this point in the video. If you did, I want to thank you all very much. I want you all to have a good day. I want you all to be safe out there, and remember, let's rock.